So it's an interesting question. And because compensation has changed drastically since 2019, when we speak with companies that haven't hired recently and we tell them where the averages are today, sometimes they're very surprised at the numbers. And sometimes they're just really shocked that the market is so inflated versus where they were years ago.
The landscape has definitely changed. And I think that companies back in 2021, 2022 were doing what they could to attract talent. It was just fast and furious with just trying to get bodies on board and things. I think that the marketplace has definitely corrected itself over the last 12 to 18 months. A lot of candidates are going to be looking for at least a 10 to 12 to 15% salary increase to justify making a move, especially if they are employed. They need the reason to leave. And granted, obviously, compensation is one, which is a big factor, but location. So hybrid versus remote versus in office 5 days a week, versus corporate culture, engaging their employees, and then obviously internal alignment. Being able to see that there are employees that are maybe 2 years ahead of them, and that they can kind of see that, okay, I'm going to be like that employee, that there's room for me to grow based on that other employee's LinkedIn profile, and I see the career progression.
And the reality is that from a candidate perspective, sometimes the candidate is looking to be at the top of the range or above, but companies also have to balance their own internal equity. And this is where it's a conversation. It's ensuring that the companies know what the candidate's compensation is, but also that the company knows that the candidates are aware that it's a two-way street, because if they overpay someone, then why should the rest of that company staff decide to stay there? So we're always managing expectations with company equity.
Yeah, and it's just managing internal equity is important, and we respect that. Obviously, companies have to obviously maintain their current employees and keeping them happy, and so we do respect that. But we also have to recognize that it can make the search process a little bit slower. We might not be as efficient and effective on getting candidates within 3 to 5 business days, if we are a little bit on the lower end. But then we also go to our clients and we try to talk creative. We try to take more of a creative approach. So maybe they won't be able to afford an associate brand manager with 2 to 3 years of experience for that brand manager spot that they have open. But maybe we talk to them about considering other avenues, to maybe talking to people that don't have their MBAs or are in a role that might be like an analyst, or even on the agency side. Just trying to be creative so we can still fill the role, even though it might not necessarily be the type of person that they initially thought they were going to be able to attract.
Mhm. And to Adrian's point, it's always about pulling different levers. If we can't provide compensation, then can we make it up in title? And if we can't make it up in title, then can we relook at the level of experience? But it's working creatively when we know that our client may have a tight budget.